Okay, this video is on forms of a line, and of course, this should be done in your Cornell Notes style. I'm taking these notes on 11/9/2016. It's probably not the same day that you guys are taking yours. However, you need these notes to be able to complete tonight's worksheet. So, the vocab, as always, what we've been studying this semester is a function that equals rate times x plus a starting amount. And this is a linear function because it makes a line. Now, the two forms that we care most about are slope-intercept, where this is y equals mx plus b, where m is, of course, your slope, and the starting amount, or y-intercept, is, of course, b. The new form we want to add in today is called point slope. Point slope. And it looks like this, y minus y1 and m times x minus x1, where m is still the slope. We just don't have the y-intercept given to us. So let's do a little bit of review about slope-intercept. So slope-intercept, m is the slope, as we said. B is the y-intercept. So when we are looking at something in this form, we really like to use this form to graph equations. This just tends to be our favorite form that we use. So here's an example. Okay, we've been doing these for a while. So y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. So we can sit here and we can say, hey, our rate or our slope is always tied to our x. So our slope here is negative 1/3. Remember, this is our change of y over our change of x, which you guys now have a formula for. If you need to rewrite your formula, it's m equals y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Okay, so let's go graph this. To graph this, we're going to go to our starting amount, or our y-intercept, at 0, 2. All y-intercepts have an x component of 0. So I'm going to go to 0, 2, and then I'm going to go over to the right 3. We're always moving to the right. And then that negative tells me to go down 1. So I'm going to go over 3 and down 1. I'm going to make my second point, and once I have 2 points, I can use my straight edge to make the line. Now remember, we want to have arrows on both sides, or this is not a line. Okay? Let's go ahead and try another one. Over here, well, our y-intercept is 0, negative 2. Okay, and our slope here is tied to our x. And when we have a whole number like this written, there's actually a secret 1 hiding underneath here. So our slope here is 2 over 1. So same thing, we go to our y-intercept, we hit negative 2. And this is telling us to go over 1 and up 2. This gives us a nice line, or 2 points, so we can make a line. And we want to make sure we have our arrows. Okay? So that is our slope-intercept form, and this should be review. Again, we really like this form for graphing. Now for the new form, point-slope. And what they're giving you here is that instead of being given slope and y-intercept, we are being given a point and the slope. Okay, so the way this works is that our slope is still m. Okay, m is still our slope, and it is still hanging out. So our m's here for these two equations are always outside these parentheses with the x. Okay, so that is still our slope. So for this equation here, this is the slope of 2/3, while the slope over here is the slope of 2 over 1. Okay, now what also this form is giving us is a point. And the point it's giving us is always the opposite of what is shown here and here. So if we need to make a point, some x1, y1, we're going to take this point, and it's 4. So we want the opposite, okay? Opposite. So instead of 4, it's going to be, instead of negative 4, it's going to be positive 4. And for our y, instead of 2, it's going to be the opposite, so negative 2. Let's go over to this one. Remember, it's going to be the opposite. So to make our point, we want the opposite of 3, so negative 3. And we want the opposite of negative 7, which is 7. Okay? Now, we can still graph these just like before. Except now, instead of starting at the y-intercept, we're going to start at this point. Okay? So I'm going to go over to 4, negative 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, down 2. This is my point of 4, negative 2. From this point, I am now going to apply my slope, where it says my change of x is 3, and my change of y is positive 2. Once I have 2 points, that's enough to graph the line. Okay? Again, what we're doing here is you're taking the opposite of what is shown here and here to make your point. That went there. This one here. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to go to that point. So this says negative 3, 7. So 1, 2, 3, and up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's the point. 3, or negative 3, 7. Okay, now I'm going to apply my slope, which says go over 1 and up 2, which would put me right here. Once I have 2 points, I can go ahead and graph a line. Okay? The advantage to this form is we only need 1 point given to us rather than 2 points. Another nice thing about this is before, the other point we had to have or we had to find was the y-intercept. When we look at things in this form, we no longer need the y-intercept to be able to graph the line. We can just go find our point, which again is the opposite of these 2 pieces, and then we can go graph the line. All right, one of the problems you'll see on your homework also is that it'll ask you to make an equation of the line that passes through some point, so 2, 3, okay, with a slope of negative 1/2. Okay, so if we want to do this, we want to start with our form. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill in for y1, m, and x1. So we're taking the opposite of what is given to us. We were given 3, so to make this equation, we're going to say y minus 3 equals our slope, which is negative 1/2, times x minus the opposite here. So instead of 2, it's going to be negative 2. That's why we put the minus. And now we have an equation of a line. And of course, you could be asked to graph this. So let's go graph this. So this says go out to the point 2, 3. 2, 3 is right here. And now we are going to go over 2, down 1. Over 2, down 1. So we're going to go over 2, down 1. Make another point. And then once I have 2 points, I can go ahead and graph my line. Okay? So the new idea here, folks, is this idea of point-slope form. All right? Something we could do, could we tell what the y-intercept is now? Well, let's see. It crossed at right there. So let's see. That's a y-intercept of 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4. And let's see here. Well, see. Let's put it in point-slope form. What's this line in point-slope form? Let's see. Y equals negative 1/2 x, and my y-intercept was 4. Okay. And I guess my question to you is, are these the same lines? And how do you know? Okay, just a little extension question. Are these the same? That's all I have for you. Go ahead and make sure you guys do your homework, and I will see you all on Monday.